Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Aphrodite, aka Madam Suave. If you are new here, I would like to welcome you to the community. Be sure to check the description box down below and like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to. And as always, please do only take what resonates and leave the rest for who it is meant for, okay? So the title of today's message is knowledge of self is the beginning of all wisdom. And we are going to continue with what we can expect coming in next year. However, before I get started, one thing that I do want to say and reiterate is that you have to do the internal work, okay? Because it affects the external. And when you skip steps, it will catch up with you, okay? So if you remain in the same repetitive cycles, time and energy will continue to move. But if your energy is static, it will not align with the movement of collective energy, okay? And so I have felt this way before when I was 19, okay? And so I am telling you this for a reason, because no matter what is going on around you, no time is wasted when you are doing the internal work. Because the same way that it will catch up with you when you do not do the work, time will also catch up with you when you actually are doing the work, okay? So doing the internal work will catapult you where you thought you were stagnant. But if you are stagnant both externally and internally, like I said, it is going to keep you stuck in the same place, okay? And in some cases, you end up with arrested development, okay? We are going to get into this message. I talked about how next year would be a building year, but I also talked about how we are entering into this great separation and this great crossover, okay? So like I said, with building, everyone is in different stages and different phases of building, okay? For some of you, you will be building your foundation, okay? Because you need foundation. Foundation comes first. For others of you, you have been working for a while on your foundation, okay? So either you have completed the building of a new foundation, or the foundation that is going to sustain you and what you build in this new cycle. So a lot of lessons that have been completed, which was your clearing, okay? Now, there are multiple cycles within a collective cycle, one kind of pinballing into the next until you kind of finally took charge and stepped off of the wheel of fate, being more intentional to align with destiny, okay? So another thing is ancestral wealth, okay? Now, when we talk about ancestral wealth, we are talking about spiritual wealth, okay? Spiritual wealth, spiritual knowledge, things that are passed down through our ancestors that have been accumulating over time, okay? So this spiritual wealth is materializing, or you are using what you have accumulated in order to materialize it into the physical, okay? So all that you have been accumulating, getting ready to manifest in the physical. So this would be like the framework, okay? Building plans. So you have already done the harder parts. Now is about reaping the fruits and seeing the effects of your labor, okay? So this is like taking a step back or looking up after a long period of tunnel vision and seeing what your spirit team has been keeping hidden from you, as they also have been working behind the scenes on your behalf as you honor your assignments, okay? So how next year begins for you literally depends on how you finish and where your focus has been as it pertains to your journey. So for some, it will take you into more introspection and a cycle of lessons very quickly in order to correct. And for others, it will be a time of community building after being in a long cycle of introspection and deep focus on purpose and understanding, as well as connection with self and spirit, okay? So 8 year was about accumulating abundance and the ability to produce wealth through resources and resourcefulness. 9 year was about applying the wisdom to maintain that flow of abundance and wealth. So this 10 year, okay, this 10 year or this 1 year is grounding that wealth and building upon it, because anything that is temporary or that decreases in value or that is finite is not true wealth, because it is the opposite of abundance. So true wealth is dependent on the source of that wealth to produce time and time again, okay? And that is where you should begin. So everything falling away in this next year is what is not sustainable, okay? So if it does not have purpose, it will become undesirable because it is a source of drainage. But where both meet and agree, and when I say both, okay, both purpose and desire, where both purpose and desire meet and agree, it will flow very naturally. If the desire is stronger than the purpose, it won't produce because everything created must serve something or there is no use. Serve something as in it must serve a purpose, okay? That also means everything that was created that has already served the purpose that it is no longer needed for will be no more, including some of these empty vessels that were used for your training and development to push you forward. This is not going to be for everyone, okay? Once again, like I said, you do have to do the work, okay? So literally, time is individual because time is energy and everyone is not on the same frequency. And this is why I say to be real with yourself, because your own delusion will trick you before anyone else. And when you are not real with or unaware of yourself and your situation, you are also unaware of your frequency and resonance or non-resonance, okay? So desire alone is not resonance. And I am not here to validate your desire because your ego will devour everything without digesting and then turn around and devour you because it always knew what it was. You just denied it because it is a hard truth to accept. So a true seer, a true oracle, a true prophet sees the truth of themselves before ever seeing the truth of anyone or anything else. Because if you cannot accept truth, then you do not know truth. And if your vessel cannot or has not been cleansed by the truth and cannot carry truth, you cannot channel truth because you do not possess the integrity to carry the weight of the call. Okay, so if you can barely carry the weight of yourself, how can you carry the weight of another? Okay, so you are your first assignment. If you cannot withstand and endure through the pain of your own birth, you cannot deliver another. Okay, so God is not testing your skill, He is testing your obedience. The devil is skilled too, sometimes more than you, and that ain't no good sign, okay? So you can't coddle what you are meant to kill because you only extend the suffering, and your hesitation reveals something that is still alive within you. Perhaps because you cannot kill what is already dead, and that is the root of your hesitation. So you cannot save face without being honest about your reflection because you no longer serve the truth, you serve the lie. God does not conform, nor does his word bend to your will, but every word spoken to preserve the lie, be that not of life, but transformed into words of death that be on record, but unreceived by the kingdom. And through the seers of truth bear witness, whose ears shall not listen because they know the voice of God, whose presence is missing in you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, some titles are about to get stripped. I do not care how many classes you took to get them. If it ain't been declared and decreed by God through the movement of his word, given life by his spirit. For my name carries power and comes with authority, and I know my people by the haste of the spirit that activates in them when they hear my voice.
Speak, my Lord. Speak to me. Speak, Lord. Speak, Lord. And heal my mind. Speak to me. Oh, with your word. Speak, Lord. And heal my soul. Speak to me. I was so lost. Speak to me. Until you spoke to me. Lord.
When you know power, you walk and talk in power, and everything fake shakes as the ground quakes and their foundation rumbles. They were never lost, they were positioned. They were never following, they were gathering. You better act like you know what time it is, because if you don't, I got some bad news for you. The truth does not discriminate.
Baby, God is trying to tell you something. I hear you, Lord. God is trying to tell you something. I hear you, Lord. God is trying to tell you something. Speak to me. Baby, God is trying to tell you something right now. Right now. Right now. Hey. God is trying to tell you something. Speak, children. God is trying to tell you something. Baby, God is trying to tell you something right now. Right now. Right now. Yeah.
are going to end it there because the wheel done got taken over. Okay, so if you cannot steer with the truth, you cannot steer for God. If you never had him on the line, then you were never called. So that is all that I have for you guys today. That is the end of today's message. Know that I see you in every font and every format. Remain the course, okay? I love you all so much, and until next time, bye.
There's a leak